Hello and welcome to Kody and Korbin Have a Podcast, the show where two former
And they
roommates
were
talk about a new movie every week. This week on the show, we're talking about The Truman Show.
Coming to you now from the largest studio ever constructed, it's The Truman Show!
Yeah! Good morning!
Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
What if?
No scripts, no cue cards.
Morning, Spencer. How's it going?
What if you were watched every moment of your life?
How many cameras you got there in that town?
5,000.
I believe Truman is the first child to have been legally adopted by a corporation.
That's correct.
Brilliant.
What if everyone you knew was pretending?
Hi, honey. Look what I got at the checkout. Dishwasher safe.
As always, I'm your host, Korbin Zvokel, and with me is my late but always there co-host, Kody Webb. Kody, how are we doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, appreciate the intro. I don't know how late I am, but fuck you. But yeah, I'm excited, man. First episode, or like first real episode of 2022, I feel like. So starting off with a bang with a guest. But yeah, I'm excited to be here, man.
Well, there you go. You spoiled the surprise, but we do have a guest as well. And not only is this just, a regular run-of-your-mill guest, this is the first brother of another guest that we've had on the show. So KHAP's getting familial. So bringing in Trevor VanOverberghe. Trevor, how are you? And will you be a better guest than your brother?
Yep. I'm excited to finally get my shot here. I was once promised to be like the second guest on a podcast. However many episodes in now, and finally get my shot. I wanted to give the fans like a real large sample size of what it's like without me. So then like when I come in and they demand that I like become the third host.
That doesn't seem too likely to happen, but
hey, you never know. I mean,
if you can get a big enough following out there, then
you don't think people like the Truman Show?
Well,
you don't think this is going to
more about you than anything than the movie?
You don't think people are going to tune in to listen about the Truman Show?
Hey, we'll see what kind of numbies this episode does.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
If it goes off, we'll consider it. Yeah.
I'll bring in 2 to 3 extra listeners.
Well, here's the question.
That'll like triple our size though. So yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly. One of those will be me.
When you finally start listening to the show after this episode.
I listened to half of one.
Why did you pick The Truman Show? Tell us.
So I first saw this movie like right before I went to college. And I was like, it's pretty good. And then I decided to just tell people it was my favorite movie so that it didn't sound boring when I like told the truth and said it was like Avengers. I like this movie. I'm probably not my favorite, but I do enjoy it.
So it's is this like to try and make yourself sound cooler or smarter?
Yeah, like real artistic.
Okay. Hey.
Like, oh my God, he likes the Truman Show.
This guy.
And then I'd say that and no one just nobody had ever seen this movie.
Yeah, I feel like you probably could have picked a better one if you were gonna lie, but I do enjoy the Truman Show. I can get into a little bit of my initial thoughts just rewatching it. Obviously, this movie kind of a little bit foreboding of the future after 1998, and you can obviously reality TV existed, but the nature of shows like Big Brother or Survivor or even The Real Housewives or like whatever crazy reality
Jersey
whatever
Shore
blew up in the late 2000s. Jersey Shore, hell yeah. This is a little impression about the future of reality TV, which is always interesting. Just a pretty tight script throughout, really unique idea, and honestly just an ending that I love. The final line and just kind of the way it ends, I think, is perfect. Modern movies have like 3 endings always. It's like something happens and then like, okay, it's over, right? Oh no, we still have to have this other scene to clear up all these storylines. In this movie, it just ends. He walks out of the dome and the movie, goes to black. And I really do love that about it. And yeah. Kody, what are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. That was one of the things I was just right off the bat. It's like a simple premise and it's like a really tight script, I think. So it's only like an hour, 40, 50, somewhere in there. But there's not a lot of like fat. There's not a lot of fluff. It's sort of just like getting to the point in this movie, which I do really like a lot. And yeah, I mean, it's just like the premise as well. It's a little bit simple. and there's not really a ton that goes on in the movie, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I just think the script in general could have used maybe another twist or turn. Obviously, the whole spoilers here, but obviously the whole his dad's alive thing. I just don't like that's in it for like 5 minutes, and that's like sort of like a big reveal almost. But yeah, I don't know. Just more into my initial thoughts. This is Jim Carrey's movie. I mean, the supporting cast for me is like okay, but what makes this good, like, is just Jim Carrey. That's why I think I don't know. Like, I'm kind of on the fringe with this movie. Like in general, I like it, but that performance from Jimmy Boy is probably what takes it over the hedge for me. So yeah, I'm sort of leaning both ways in this movie. I don't know what to think about it.
Trev, what are some of your initial thoughts rewatching this movie for the second time ever?
Yeah, I mean, like you guys said, like it surprised me how short it is because it's really like there's a beginning, there's a middle, and then there's an end. Like there's no extra, nothing in the middle.
weird.
And so
well,
it's like,
well said, well said.
you know what I mean, though? It's like, you know what I mean.
It doesn't play around. I mean, it gets to the
acts.
point.
It's straight to the
You
point.
guys. Anyway, but like, because like it just nothing extra at the end there. I kind of wish that when he like leaves, that it just went straight to black. That'd kind of be sick, but
I agree with that. They had to get like those weird guys making a stupid comment or something. Just end it when he walks out. But another thing that I did want to mention, what do you guys think about the rewatchability of this movie? Because this was the second time that I've seen it. And the first time, I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than the second time. But I didn't know if that was just me.
I kind of agree with you there. Like, I think it's a movie you watch and you're like, this movie is great. Like, it's fucking amazing. And then you rewatch it again and you're just like, I mean, it's a smart idea, but it does just get old very fast. I think I watched it for like the third time, maybe with Mina last year, and I just fell asleep in the middle of it and woke up for the end. And like, that's just kind of how it is. Like, I don't know. It's a good movie, but I agree with you. The rewatchability isn't the best.
yeah, I mean, you made the joke that this is like my second time watching it, but in reality, like it is. Like the first time, exactly. Like I was like, man, this movie's awesome. This is my favorite movie. And then like this was probably my third time watching it. But yeah,
I mean, it proves the phenomenon though. Like, you know, the point we're making. So
yeah, once you see it, but it's like once you see that first twist, you know what's happening. It kind of doesn't ruin it, but it's not as interesting the second time around when you know what's happening.
For sure. All right, why don't we go ahead and move on to stupidest part? Kody, you want to take it away?
You stupid.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a hard movie to point out a ton of flaws in it, but I did have a couple stupid parts. First off, I mean, it's kind of just like at this point in the show, maybe the production value's gone down a little bit because I just feel like they're trying to get caught. Obviously, I don't know the entire backstory to the girl who was like a fan and then like infiltrated the show somehow, but that doesn't make much sense. Also, the radio station, like just going to the cues, like the director cues or whatever, strange. And they just like drop a light fixture out of the sky as well at the beginning, like directly on his street. So, I don't know, maybe the production is just getting tired. They're trying to sabotage the show on its own. But I thought that was funny, or just like 4 or 5 things in a row, or it's just a bad day for the show. And a lot of people are getting canned, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what I wrote down. It's that like in a 1 week span, everyone just decides to be terrible at their job. Like they go 30 years of making this, and just now all of a sudden, like every single thing happens. I guess that is, the most likely scenario. Eventually you start making mistakes and they pile up, but rough week for the TV TV industry.
Somebody's got to be getting fired. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear you. Trev, what's the stupidest part for you?
Yeah, I put just the entire like Sylvia storyline kind of makes no sense a little bit. Like I don't get, like he's obsessed with her and they probably spent like an hour total together, and he wants to move around the world. He's obsessed with going to Fiji because he thinks she's there, and it's like it doesn't make sense. Like I think it would have made more sense if like she was the original love interest and like kind of like has actual feelings for him and tries to like tell him the truth then, rather than like her just like pulling him away for an hour. And also I don't get why she's like allowed on the set, because there's that scene where they're at the prom or whatever and they pull her away, and then somehow she's allowed to like just be studying across from him. Like however long later. So that part kind of makes no sense at all. But
Yeah, I agree with you. It's pretty poor security. Anybody can get onto the show, apparently.
No, I agree with that too. Like that character at times just feels out of place. Like it's just another reason for him to be like suspicious of everybody. But in the grand scheme of things, like I don't know how they developed a connection in 10 seconds. I guess he's just like a massive simp. Like I don't know, unless it's like
he's got like an eye kink, man. He's just really into eyes.
Yeah, I respect the eye kink, but yeah, I don't know. Her character as a whole is kind of strange to me as well.
Especially when like her like dad pulls up and says she's like a crazy person. Like I feel like any other person who would experience that would be like, what the hell, and not to like fall in love with this girl.
Yeah, good point.
Truman's a weird guy too.
He's into eyes. He's into schizophrenic girls. Who knows? But Korbin, you got another one? Because I do have one more.
That's all I got. It was just that general.
I back that. But my one other one, which I really don't like in this movie at all, is well, obviously there's like cuts near the end of the movie to like people watching, which I do like that. But there's one viewer in particular I'm not a fan of, and it's the weird guy who gets in his bathtub 24/7 watching the Truman Show. Like, dude, I don't know how he's not all pruny, because literally throughout the entire movie, he's in his bathtub. It's got to be some disgusting, disgusting water in there. And he doesn't really bring anything out of like all the viewers. Like, I really like the bar, and then like there's some other like the duo of the security guards or whatever, the old ladies, like they're fine, but this guy's just in here for like slapstick comedy, and I'm not enjoying it at all because it's just some weirdo in a bathtub. But yeah, I hate that in this movie, if I'm being honest.
I don't have any problems with people in bathtubs, so
I noticed that too. Like at the end when he freaks out and he's splashing all around, I was like, what is this guy doing in here?
When it finally goes back live, he's like,
he's still in the tub.
Trevor, who can act in this movie?
Wow.
Who can act? As Kody alluded to, Jim Carrey. It was Jim Carrey's show. He killed it. I think he was doing pretty much just comedies at that point. This was his first real kind of drama. And he played it well because he just played like pretty much this dude is going crazy in a way. And I mean, that's kind of all his characters, a little weirdos, but yeah, I mean, he does it well.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think this movie works without Jim Carrey, honestly. There's a certain, like you said, like he has to be a little bit crazy. There's a little bit of crazy behind those eyes at any given moment. And even when he's saying like the most innocent, normal thing, like there's just something's a little iffy. This dude's not quite right with Jim Carrey. And I think it really fits well into this Truman character that's been forced into this world and been viewed by everyone. So Jim Carrey, if you were to recast anybody else in this role, it's just a much worse movie. Kody, did you have more to add to that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I touched on in the beginning. It is his movie 100%. I think this might be his best performance. It's definitely up there, especially for like, this is more of like a dramedy, I think, but obviously he does more like comedies in general. But just like the deterioration of a man, I think, is something really interesting to watch. And I mean, I feel like if we actually threw Jim Carrey into this situation, like that Truman was in, like he was on TV from birth, like this is actually how Jim Carrey might just be in general. So I think that definitely lends like to Jim Carrey's just like acting ability, because I think he's just trying to be himself as much as possible, which I like a lot. And I mean, obviously it definitely works for this movie.
Absolutely. Do you have anybody else you guys want to talk about?
I wanted to
Ed Harris, he won like the Golden Globe that year for Best Actor or whatever. So probably shout him out.
Oscar nominated
for this movie.
Yeah, I think he won the Golden Globe for Best.
Probably did win a Golden Globe, but yeah, Oscar nominated, Best Supporting Actor.
I did not know that. Good for Ed. But I wanted to shout out Biff as well. I don't even know the actor's name. Biff from Back to the Future, I believe. He's just a better actor than I thought he was, honestly. And that little pep talk he had at the bridge, where he's like, "Oh, I'm your best friend. I couldn't be a part of this." Some good acting. And just from seeing the Back to the Future movies, I didn't think he had that in him. So wanted to shout that guy out.
He's Biff. I was like, who is this guy? I can't remember his face.
Are you sure?
I put him in Who Can't Act because his face makes me, I don't know, something about
It's
his
definitely
face.
not.
He's definitely not
Who is
Biff.
he in Back to the Future? He's somebody.
He's not in Back to the Future.
No fucking shit.
Probably some background actor.
It's gotta be his brother or something.
No.
Who plays Biff in Back to the Future?
I'm looking it up, brother.
I'm
That
sorry.
movie's way too old.
I'm just asking questions. Who plays Biff?
Tom Wilson. You
Okay.
realize he has to be a lot older.
Oh yeah, that's not him.
Yeah.
What is this guy in? I've seen this guy in
Nothing.
something.
He's
I
really
know,
in
no,
nothing.
that's what I thought. I looked it up.
He's
and
in
like
The
nothing.
Americans, The Truman Show. He's in The Walking Dead. Little
Oh.
Children. That's it. I don't know.
I could have swore to God that was Biff. All right, my bad.
Yeah. So you think he's a good actor in this movie, Kody?
Yeah, he's not bad, you know. He's better than Biff was, so
Okay. I also wanted to give a little shout out to Ed Harris. Like we said, Oscar nominated.
I'm fucking dead.
Kody, what do you think? Do you think his character in this is kind of similar to what he does in Snowpiercer?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that 100%. He just like shows up at the end and has like this menacing tone, this monotone voice.
And it's like kind of running the show and then like
Yeah.
reveals the truth, and it's all been his. Yeah, I was thinking very similar to that character. And then the other thing, I think the opening of this movie with him in it, where he's like doing the like documentary where he's like talking about it, is just really good. And I think he's perfect for this character. So
Yeah, he's all right. I'll talk about him a little later, but I think we skipped over best scene as well. You know, did we not?
yeah, we did. That's my bad.
No, we can come back around to it. I'm down to just go into who can act right
Yeah,
now.
let's do that. All right.
Yeah, I got a couple picks
Who
here.
can't act?
Who can act? Yeah. I got Laura Linney first off. I don't know what else she's been in. She definitely wasn't in Back to the Future, I'll tell you that. But
What if she
I mean-
was?
yeah, it's kind of a tough thing for her because it's sort of like she's acting with.
She's in Ozark.
Oh, really? I haven't seen it. But what was I saying? Yeah. So you're throwing me off, dude. All right. She's like acting within acting. So she's like Inception acting here. And I think that's kind of hard to do. And I don't think she's really great at it. But the person I did want to shout out for my worst actor in this movie, it's got to be Ed Harris. I don't know how the hell he won, some awards and stuff for this. But I don't know. I just really don't buy what he's saying. His weird thing where he's like stroking the monitor and stuff. Like that's definitely just Ed Harris. Like that's what he told the director he's going to do. And the director's like, okay, sure, go for it. And yeah, just also like the Snowpiercer thing. I don't know why he's typecast as like this ominous guy who comes in at the end of movies. And just some of his choices I don't like. And just the way his voice sounds, I don't really like either. I think you could have gotten somebody who like even has a better voice in general, but Ed Harris is a decent actor, but I just don't like his choices mostly in this movie. So I'm going after one of the big boys, evidently. Didn't know he's nominated, but he's my worst actor here.
My worst actor is Mr. Not Biff himself, Noah Emmerich as Marlon.
What?
I just really don't think he's a very convincing best friend for Jim Carrey's character. I don't think him and Truman make sense as friends at all. And I just don't think they work or have any chemistry. And I'm going to blame that on their lack of chemistry together. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's who I put too. Guy's just a snooze fest. And like you mentioned, the pep talk he gives, he has to get it fed by Ed Harris, the man you trash. I mean, the guy he's just not good. I also wanted to say within the actual Truman Show itself, the police officer who calls him Truman, no, you're old.
Terrible,
you don't
bro.
You don't know Truman.
That guy's definitely getting fired.
That guy got canned. That guy's not a real police officer.
But yeah, I don't know. To defend Biff a little bit, not Biff, but I think that seems pretty good. Like I don't know. Obviously, Ed Harris is feeding him lines, but it's like getting a little bit emotional. And yeah, Korbin, you're probably right. They don't have great chemistry together, but I'll blame that on the script and not Biff. So fair enough.
Trevor, what's your favorite scene in this movie?
She is very gorgeous to me.
Yeah, like I talked about earlier, even though you guys made fun of me, the middle, the Kristoff interview, Ed Harris teeing off. I like how it is in the middle and you don't kind of like so there's like that little bit of mystery at the beginning where you don't really know what's going on. And then there's like this kind of big reveal of Ed Harris talking about giving all the background of what the Truman Show is. And I like how it comes through. And And like he says some stuff that makes him seem like a total weirdo. Like wanting the first on-air conception to happen, aiming for all like, yeah. I mean, that's the best scene right there.
I also alluded to mine earlier. I love the ending of this movie. In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's perfect.
Unbelievable that you'd say it right now and not wait until the very end. But
well, we can't steal. That's kind of already a thing. We can't.
No, I mean that's how you sign off.
Don't worry about it.
Cut this.
Yeah,
cut this and redo it.
I'll cut everything you say. All right, Kody, what's your favorite scene?
Yeah, bouncing off yours as well. I think the ending's great. Just super high note to leave the movie with. But I had a couple others I want to sprinkle in. I love the ads where they just do that in front of Jim Carrey and he's just reacting like, what the hell's going on? And then the nuclear plant scene is one of my personal favorites. Maybe not technically the best, but I just like Jim Carrey running around in the forest fighting nuclear plant workers with a stick. Just makes me laugh. I don't know why, but I think that actually might be my favorite scene in the movie.
Those are some good ones.
I don't know. Korbin's coming at me this episode. I don't know what the hell's going on. Everything I say is just incorrect, evidently. Fuck you, Korbin.
I like the ads too. I think when you see it, that's like on the second watch, you notice the ads.
It brings up an interesting question. Like, if everybody talks like that around him, would like it become inherent, like something he would learn to do himself? Would he like start doing product placements if they gave him things that he liked?
I doubt it. I think obviously, like
would he turn
that part? That's also pretty funny. Yeah, that's terrible.
I think I don't think he'd do that, Korbin, but
no.
Interesting take.
Learn behavior. If everybody around you is doing it, like that's what's normal.
He's not
there's that part in the middle where she does it when he's going crazy and like almost like kills her, where he's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, who are you talking to?
Yeah, but why would he not get used to that? He should think it's normal.
Why don't you?
I guess, you know what? In our heart of hearts, we know
adopt a kid.
The capitalism is inherently evil and we can feel it in our soul. And he would not want to be a part of that advertising. That's probably what it is. On that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back with this new ad for 2022. And we're back with the recast.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Kody, who are you recasting in this movie? I'm sure you're getting rid of our buddy Ed, so let's hear it.
I am, yeah. Eddie's going to be the first one gone, sadly. Yeah, his role's an interesting one. I just sort of wanted somebody more villainous. Like, obviously, Ed, he cares about Truman, but I want somebody to care a little bit less about him. So I'm throwing in James Earl Jones, one of the best villains of all time. He's just got that voice that I was talking about, too. I just want that booming voice over the intercom, telling Truman to stay the hell there. And sort of the behind-the-scenes stuff as well. I don't know if I really even buy Ed Harris as somebody who's been running a TV show for 30 years. Like, when did he start the show? When he was 20? I don't know. I want somebody a little bit older. How old do you think Ed Harris is in this movie? Like 50? I don't know.
Yeah, he would have been like 48.
Yeah. When are you going to get a chance to produce on major television at 20? Get the hell out of here.
That's fair. That's fair.
Thank you. So, yeah, semantics there, but yeah, why not? Throw in James Earl Jones.
Trev, what are you thinking?
I said I threw in Jeff Daniels as Marlon, little callback for Jim Carrey there, a true best friend.
I like that.
Not whatever his name is, Biff.
Cody hates Jeff Daniels, dude.
Yeah, Jeff Daniels is all right. I like Dumb and Dumber.
I've never seen Dumb and Dumber, so this was just.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't watch movies.
I've never seen it either, but.
You never seen Dumb and Dumber?
It says dumb in the name. Why would I want to watch it?
Yeah, good point. Korbin, you gotta watch that movie. Come on, dude.
You can pick it for the podcast if you want me to watch it. That's the only way it's gonna happen.
Dumb and Dumber 2.
Why? I definitely won't pick it, but why won't you watch it?
Because it's like dumb.
You haven't even seen it.
It might be dumber than you think.
All right. So there was something interesting I was reading that the director of this movie, Peter Weir, almost played the role of Kristoff as like a meta thing of like the director of the movies directing the show. I think that would have actually been pretty interesting. And I don't know if he would have been a good actor though. So if he was a good actor, then I would say recast him. But he's probably a weirdo. Then I thought about, I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys. I don't have much of a pitch here in a little bit, so I'm going to do a little bit of extra work here to make up for it. If this movie were to be made today, the thing that they would do is the people watching the TV show of Truman Show would be cameos of real people or real famous actors. They would stuff them in there. Something very similar to what they did in Free Guy, which I do like the movie, but it's probably in retrospect not a great part about it. But here we go. We're going to put Samuel L. Jackson and he's going to be in the bathtub and he's going to say, "What the fuck?" when he sees Truman. We're just going to have Julia Roberts and Meg Ryan just hanging out, out on the town watching it while, grabbing a bite to eat at lunch. And then I thought, even more crazy, we're going to have characters from other movies that are released in the year of 1998 watching this film. So you're going to pan over and just see Matt Damon and Edward Norton playing poker, and they're watching the real life Truman Show. Same thing. Jeff Bridges, he's just bowling at the bowling alley, and you know what they have on the TVs there? They have the Truman Show on. So there you go. Kody, you were shaking your head a lot there. Let's hear it.
Yeah, it's that's an interesting move. I like Sam Jackson in the toilet instead of the other guy. But yeah, I don't know. You probably just have to pay those people a lot more. The budget of the movie's going to go up, and I don't know. It's not a terrible idea, but whatever.
That's like everything this movie despises to become. I just described in a few short sentences. Do you guys have any other recasts?
I do have another one actually. So Laura Linney, she's on obviously my list. Somebody to get rid of, and I was thinking around the 90s area who would be somebody fun to throw in there. And she's in one of my favorite movie Grown Ups, so I figured I'd give her another shot. Salma Hayek. She's actually not bad in like romantic roles, I feel like, and I think she would have more fun with the character than Laura Linney did, who I think was just one note the entire time, except for like when Truman's attacking her a little bit. But I want somebody who has more like chemistry and rapport with Jim Carrey, other than just like this goody two shoes who never stops smiling, and it's kind of annoying. Yeah, why not throw in Salma Hayek?
I actually really like that pick. Bring a little bit of heart.
I appreciate that, man.
Welcome to the Academy.
There's a mistake. Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
Moonlight won.
Kody, what are you giving this movie? What awards?
All right back to me. Yeah, I got a couple here. The first one, which is actually pretty impressive, I think. This is probably the longest running fictional TV show of all time. A good 30 years. That's not easy to do on TV. Obviously, It's Sunny in Philly might give it a run for its money, but damn, 30 years of television, like I said, just not easy to do. And for the Truman Show, they've done it. So respect. That's my Oscar this week.
Trev, what do you got?
Yeah, I came up with the Paul Giamatti Lifetime Achievement Award. This one goes to the actor who has the most Paul Giamatti type vibe, type energy. And very coincidentally, this one goes to Paul Giamatti himself. Comes in, just does his just full Paul Giamatti, very flustered, fucks up the show. Honestly, not paying attention to Truman. Just shout out Paul Giamatti. Maybe throw him into Who Can Act, because why not?
One of many people who was not doing their job that week. Paul Giamatti's character.
No one else in that movie played Rhino in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
And no one else was dyed blue with red hair in Big Fat Liar.
I love that movie.
That's a classic. My award, this was nominated for Best Director, Best Supporting Actor for Ed Harris, and obviously Best Original Screenplay. I say this movie should win Best Original Screenplay. Other nominees from 1998, Shakespeare in Love is what won, Saving Private Ryan, Life is Beautiful, and Bulworth. To be honest, never seen any of those movies, so this is the best screenplay of them that I've read. So here we go. I think it's the best one from 1998. Also, got to say that this movie probably deserves the award for Best Dome. So yeah.
What about the Simpsons movie?
Well, there's some classics. There's obviously the Stephen King Under the Dome. There's Sandy's Dome. There's the dome your mom gave me. They're all over the place.
Oh, I did not see that coming.
Too far, man. Unbelievable.
Too far.
I saw that one coming as soon as you said dome.
Do you have any other awards, Kody?
I do have one more actually. It's kind of calling a specific person out, but basically there's an actor in here who I think in general they're decent, but their character, it's the bus driver and the guy who runs the ferry supposedly. He's got to be the worst bus driver in movie history, if I'm being honest. I mean, he can't even start the damn bus.
I think he did that on purpose.
Yeah, he did that on purpose. He's an actor. He doesn't know how to drive a bus.
He was sweating like crazy. I think he was legit.
They can't go to Chicago. You can't take him to Chicago for real.
There is no Chicago. He also can't drive a boat, which is...
That kind of makes sense. Like, do you know how to drive a boat? I don't. So.
Do you know how to drive a bus?
Yeah, you start the damn bus and then you take off. I don't know. There's a.
Do you know how to get to Chicago from inside of a dome?
I don't actually. So good point there.
You hit the wall.
Well, I mean, he should have done that then. He couldn't even start it to go hit the wall.
I think that was good improv by that bus driver to just ruin the bus.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm not a fan in general, and there are arguably probably some worse bus drivers in other movies. I feel like we talk about this all the time, but Forrest Gump, Spider-Man, some clear ones there. But yeah, I'll take this movie in the top 3 at least.
Let's go to weird movie details trivia.
Naked grandma. Naked, huh?
Kody, what question you asking us this week, Holmes?
You're coming to me first, every single one, dude. All right. But yeah, my question this week, there's no options, by the way. So it might be a little tough, but you guys can tag team this. If you get it all together, then I'll give it to you both. But what were the 3 things in that 3-in-1 kitchen device ad that Laura Linney got from the grocery store? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I think a peeler was one of them.
That's one. Yeah. 2 more.
It's like a knife.
Yeah. Like a no knife. Okay. What else? What's up? Like a grater?
Yeah, I feel like there's a grater.
That's the main part of the body.
I feel like there's like a spiral, like a whisk or something.
What else? What other kitchen things can you do?
Potential murder weapon.
Whisk, cut, peel, mince, mandolin, grater.
What the hell's mandolin?
You don't know what a mandolin is? Like,
yeah,
it's an instrument.
Potato chips.
Oh, I do know what that is. Okay.
It's also an instrument. I couldn't tell you. Is it just like a scooper?
I feel like you guys pretty much got it. I mean, it's called a dicer, but I mean that's
so
basically
it's a knife.
Yeah.
That's
So I'll give it to you.
Okay.
3 for 3. Good work, boys.
Was that your only question?
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, Trev, what's your question?
Let's see. Do you know how much Jim Carrey was paid for this movie?
Yes.
I do not. I'll take a guess at it though. I don't fucking know. 1998. Like
It's a chunk of change.
10 mil? Is that enough? Is that too much? I don't know.
Pretty close.
I'll say that. Yeah.
So he was actually supposed to get paid like 20 mil, but I know he took a pay cut to get paid $12 million.
Ooh, that's pretty close.
I assume it was like because he was doing comedy, he wanted to dip his toes into dramas.
Yeah, smaller budget film for sure. Probably didn't expect, original story type stuff. My question is, this was originally written as like a 1-page treatment, more kind of a dystopian, set in like a New York City type place, futuristic, maybe a little darker. The original title, though, was not The Truman Show. There was a different name. Was it The Andrew Show, The William Show, The Malcolm Show, or The Brandon Show?
This is a stupid question.
I read this too.
Well,
I think I know. I think I know it.
Kody, you guess first.
Malcolm's really sticking out to me for some reason, so I think I'm gonna go with that one.
All right, and Trevor.
Same here. Malcolm Show.
Let's go.
It is The Malcolm Show.
That was a pure guess too. That's kind of a miracle.
They should have stuck with it.
I disagree. I like Truman. It's a good name.
Frankie Muniz cornered the market on Malcolm's, so
That's true.
They got a monopoly on Malcolm.
No one else can be Malcolm after Frankie.
R.I.P. Pitch time. I'll take it away because I said I didn't have much. I don't want a sequel of or anything of this movie. Like, this is probably the last movie that I want to see a sequel of for some reason. It just seems like maybe it's because I love the ending so much and just because of the thematic elements. But I would say no sequel, please. That's my pitch. Stay away from it.
That's a cop-out pitch.
I do have a secondary pitch. How about other movie characters owned by Paramount watch the Truman Show in their movies?
No way.
Like when Top Gun Maverick comes out this summer, just, they're yelling or something.
What if
they go home and they watch the Truman Show? And then in the iCarly reboot, I think that would be really, beautiful because, the rebooting of IP and they're creating a reality of themselves with the show iCarly. I think it'd be great if they were watching the Truman Show.
Yeah, and then it cuts, and then Edward Norton and Matt Damon are playing poker, and then Meg Ryan's there.
Exactly. In the original plan for this movie, there was going to be a point in the movie where the movie cuts out, and then cameras in the theater would broadcast a videotape of the people in the theater watching the movie up on the screen in the middle of the movie.
I read that. I didn't understand what was going on with that. What would they even do? Also, what teenage projector kid at the movie theater?
Well, that's the thing. That would never work. Movies don't do that. But
that's interesting, huh? If they would have done that, that's groundbreaking stuff, I feel like. But yeah, you're not gonna have 18-year-old kids working at the movie theater probably be able to figure that out in time. But
they would be like, figure it out. You got this. That's what you think would happen, Kody? They wouldn't give them instructions. They would just
they probably give them instructions, but kids working at the movie theater, I feel like they're not the smartest people of all time. So.
Wow.
I knew people who worked at a movie theater.
All labor is skilled labor, Kody.
I'm not shouting out anybody disrespectfully, but a little disrespect, if you work at the movie theater, fair enough. But
who used to work at a movie theater?
Jake.
No, Jackson. More beef.
Well, Jackson's pretty smart, so maybe.
Nah. That dude sucks. They suck. No more free press. All right, Trevor. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just commenting on new people who worked in movie theaters and
smart or stupid.
Look, man.
Are they going to listen to this?
No.
Then let's hear it.
Take your guess. They're stupid. They're dummies.
Well, press play. If you were friends with them, then yeah.
I'm not there. No comment.
I'm going to send this to them. Anybody want to do their pitch? Or
I want to hear yours.
Yeah. So, like Korbin said, I don't really want there to be a sequel. I like how it ends, but since I respect this podcast, I came with an actual answer. The sequel is pretty obvious, but I'm not going with the obvious one. I'm going with something I talked about earlier. I'd like to see Christoph just still try to have the first on-air conception. Just still going for it.
Who's concepting?
Whoever, that's the journey. He just keeps trying to film.
They could just find the two hottest people ever and just make that movie, right?
I'd watch it.
Yeah, we know.
Okay, go on. All right, my pitch is a doozy, so I'll get right to it. I'm going The Truman Show 2, Escape from Sea Haven. Great title, I'm proud of that. Basically, the basic plot is Truman's out now. He's got Ed Harris and all of his posse on his tail looking for him because they still want him back. And also the fact that he's a global superstar. It's pretty hard for him to stay out of the limelight. But obviously my rule is somebody's got to die. So let's kill his weird girlfriend because let's just say Ed Harris kills her. And then basically the thick of the movie is It's sort of like a John Wick style, a little bit of MacGyver. It's like an action comedy with an older Jim Carrey. Just it's like 10 years later, obviously, or whatever. But Jim Carrey's pissed. He just found out that it was Ed Harris who killed his girlfriend, and he's going after him. So the entire posse, it's just John Wick style. He's mowing people down and just get Jim Carrey back into the action scene. I kind of just want to see that. If we have to pitch a sequel, obviously this is not a good sequel, but why not?
That sequel, but his weapon is the 3-in-1 cheese
Yeah,
grater.
that's what he kills Ed Harris with at the end. It's a 3-in-1.
Does an ad right before.
You're writing my movie for me, man. Yeah, this is all gold. All gold.
I'm a writer at heart.
That's beautiful, guys. That's beautiful. We'll start calling Paramount up. Jim Carrey would never do a sequel for this movie.
No,
no shot.
He did
Right.
Mr. Popper's Penguins.
Underrated Jim Carrey.
He did Dumb and Dumber 2. Is that out of the realm?
I guess that's true. But I feel like this movie, like Dumb and Dumber 2, like, yeah, I'll do a sequel of that. Like, what am I gonna harm the artistic integrity of the original one?
You haven't even seen it, dude. Dumb and Dumber. Good. I don't like this Dumb and Dumber slander when you haven't even seen it. Korbin.
Oh, I was looking on his filmography. Ace Ventura 3 is coming out. I mean, this guy, he doesn't care. Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Okay,
make a sequel.
Hey, Sonic, bro, that's
pay him the full 20.
Also
Pay him the full
movie I
20
haven't
this
seen.
time.
Yeah,
He'll come
Yeah,
around
yeah.
for the sequel.
Run
he'd
it up.
probably
run
do
it
it
up.
for 20, honestly. Yeah.
I mean, I would too. We've reached the end of our line, but we have to rate this movie. Trevor, you're the guest, which means you have to go first. What are you rating this movie out of 69?
I gave it a solid 54. As I said, I have called this movie my favorite movie. I can't come in and disrespect it with a low score. Solid 54 for the Truman Show.
It's a good rating. Funny enough, I have it as a 54 as well. So we're on the same wavelength here. I don't think that's ever happened, honestly, before on the show where we've had like similar ratings. So yeah.
Don't fuck this up, Korbin.
You better say 54.
So yeah, I've got this movie coming in at a 49. I really think it is kind of what Kody was talking about right at the beginning, like the rewatchability. Like I think probably the first time I watched this it's like a 4.5 star movie, and then the second time like a 4-star movie, and now I'm at like 3.5, and I don't think it'll go down much from here. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it a ton more in the future, but I think it does kind of eat away at itself and doesn't live with you as long as well as some other things do. But can't deny that it is like a great script, clever idea. It, foretold much of what was to come in reality television, as well as, served as a basis of ideas for, a lot of things to come. Whether it's, things like The Matrix or Free Guy or like any number of things take a little bit of, idea, or at least can be spiritual successors to this movie about being stuck, and then escaping into the world beyond. So
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good movie. I don't know if The Matrix ripped off it much, if I'm being honest.
I'm not saying it ripped it off, but I mean,
it also it came out in like 99, which is like a year later. So
yeah. I respect. I'm just saying in terms of the ideas and the
I
similar
get what
ideas.
you're saying. Yeah.
Obviously, that movie is more about being trans more than anything. So I don't think it probably did pull from the Truman Show, but
That is true, honestly. So good point. Yeah, I think maybe we were a bit harsh on this movie, but I think it's just good. It's just good. Like, you can't deny it's good. And I think maybe Corbin's rating was a little low, but it's just a good movie. That's pretty much all I gotta say.
recommendations. What have you been into, Trevor? You want to get us started? I mean, I know you're missing something special right now, so
I know, Euphoria season 2. Shout out. But on the lines of Jim Carrey, featured heavily, Dawn FM, the new Weekend album. Go listen to it. Bring it up. He's got his own song at the end.
it is timely. Jim Carrey, he's back this week, so we're riding waves right now. Trends.
I saw a TikTok that was like playing that song, and it was like, this gives me Truman Show vibes. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense, but finally.
It's because it has Jim Carrey in it. Those are the vibes.
It's like a little weird and has Jim Carrey, so therefore
This is giving me Grinch vibes, bro.
This is giving me Dumb and Dumber 2 vibes.
Kody, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I got a couple recs this week. I did check out Hell or High Water. It's on Netflix. I did talk to Korbin about this a little bit already, but Jeff Bridges very, very good in that movie. sort of like a grizzled, just about to retire ranger. But he's amazing in it. But overall, it's good. It's fun. I think it might be a little overhyped from what I've heard about it, but maybe I just had like my expectations a little too high going into it. But pretty sure it's like nominated for Best Picture and stuff. So yeah, good movie. Check that out. And then the other thing, which I just binged the shit out of this weekend, was The Queen's Gambit. And Korbin had very high things to say about it on our last episode. So
what's the verdict?
The verdict, it's good. I think maybe it's similar to the verdict on the Truman Show. I don't know if that's just a theme this weekend, but it's definitely good. I don't know if it's the best TV of last year, but I really enjoyed watching it. I mean, if I binged it, it's like 7 episodes. That's like 7 hours. I watched that shit in like 2 days. So it's definitely interesting. It makes chess very, very interesting, and that's really not anything I was interested in before the show. But great performance, obviously, on Taylor-Joy. Is that her name, right?
Yep.
But yeah, very well.
I'll tell you what,
show.
The power that show has had over people in chess, man. Chess is huge right now. I mean, not as big as it was over the summer, but like way more popular than it was, a year ago.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like I'm somewhat interested in chess now too. Like maybe I'll look into that. But I think it's the characters that really carry the show. I think great performances from the supporting, mostly the guys. That one guy who's in the Maze Runner, I can never remember his name, but he's really good as that Benny guy.
Yeah, with the that's the blonde guy with the mustache I was talking about.
Yeah,
and then the dude from Harry Potter.
Yeah, Neville.
No, he's the Dursley kid. He's the Dursley. I think I said Neville yesterday, but it's Dursley kid.
Oh, that's not Neville. See, I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, he's got his eyes too close together though.
He does. He's got a big nose too, and I know. But yeah, overall, definitely good show. I check it out, but maybe a little overhyped. Those are my recs.
Yeah, for sure. When did we? I don't know when I recorded the last episode. I've watched a lot of things since then.
Fair.
All right. Dazed and Confused, I watched is one of the first movies of the year. Did I talk about that last?
No.
Okay. Dazed and Confused, really awesome movie, but also like kind of bad in a lot of ways. Definitely not a movie that holds up well in 2021, but like, I don't know, there's the vibes in it and like there's waves of it where it feels like you're watching the greatest thing ever and like you've never felt this way watching a movie. But then there's like things in it that are like just like kind of gross, if we're being honest. So it's tough. Yeah, so think about high school girls. They stay the same age, right?
Good line, yeah, not a great message.
Not a good line. Watched a couple movies from 2021: The Last Duel, Mass, Power of the Dog, Coda, West Side Story.
Jesus Christ.
Verdict out. West Side Story, very good. Close to a masterpiece if you take out Ansel Elgort. Steven Spielberg, baby, he's back.
Is that why I made no money?
Dude, nothing's made money this year. Coda, also
Spider-Man.
Fantastic. Really beautiful story about like this family with a daughter who can hear child of death. I mean, with Kody had wanted some Coda as well. Last Duel, okay. Power of the Dog, I really don't think that's that great. Mass, also a really interesting story about the parents. I mean, again, Carter talked about it on our Oscar podcast, but like following a mass shooting, the parents of the victims and the shooter sitting down and talking, very interesting and hard to watch. Also watched another 2021 movie, The Voyeurs, basically softcore porn, very strange, but it's got Sydney Sweeney and the dude from Detective Pikachu in it. So I watched a movie from 2020 which I've deemed the worst movie I've ever seen. This is a big deal. Terrible movie, The Fuck It List. Do not watch it. Really bad, and King Botch is in it. So or King Batch.
Another Netflix original, right?
I don't think it technically is. Moving on to 2 Michael Keaton performances that I really loved. First one being in a movie called Worth, which is kind of very Spotlight-esque, which is I think part of why I like it. It's not as good, but it's about basically the 9/11 Victims Fund and like how they went about like assigning money to the people after all these people died in 9/11, and there's a lot of politics behind it, and it's kind of like a lawyer movie, and it's pretty interesting. And the other one, Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. This movie is incredible. Obviously a Best Picture winner. I'd never gotten a chance to check it out, but I really do love everything that happens in it. The fact that it's Michael Keaton playing the character that he's playing, as well as just his performance. The cinematography, it's essentially shot in one take, and just really interesting idea. And then finally, watched a documentary called Alt-Right: Age of Rage. If you have any interest in kind of beginning to scratch the surface of what alt-right politics look like in this country, and just how widespread things are. Obviously, this movie's a little bit older and precedes the events of January 6th, so it doesn't have a full, grasp of it's not fully encompassing of the alt-right movement, especially in modern times, but looking at like the Charleston March back in 2017 and just kind of, where politics were then in the middle of Trump's presidency is a very interesting watch.
Nice.
I've been busy.
A lot of people don't know Korbin's super alt-right.
No.
Left him speechless. Yeah, you've been on a tear, man. That's kind of ridiculous.
Hey, bro, gotta hit 365 this year.
Yeah, you're a psychopath. There's no way you hit that. You have to slow down from that pace at least.
Yeah, but if I start off really strong,
You got bank on.
Exactly.
Also, where did you watch Birdman at?
I rented it on
Really?
Amazon Prime.
That's
but
definitely one of the ones I want to check out.
It was definitely worth it. That was part of my I watched 15 movies this year, so we're 9 days in, so we're almost doubled.
I've watched like 4.
I'm doing I talked about the book my brother got me for Christmas, where it's like the prompt every week. This week was to watch a Best Picture winner, so I decided I'd check out Birdman.
Did it win? I guess it did.
Yeah, 2014 Best Picture winner. I think deserving. Same year as Selma and Whiplash. I know a lot of people appreciate Whiplash a little bit more, but I think it deservedly Best Picture winner for that year. So
yeah, I like Selma too, actually, but I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
I think there's a lot of like meta stuff in Birdman, and it is pretty representative of like movies in 2014. Just like the ideas behind it and what it means to be like a celebrity versus being an actual actor, and I don't know, pretty good stuff. We could talk about it more one day when you watch it.
Yeah, I'll check it out for sure.
Trev, any final parting words of wisdom?
I don't. I'll be excited to come back when Jim Carrey does the Truman Show 2, Escape from Sea Haven.
We'd be glad to have you
bring
on.
me back. Whatever movies Paul Giamatti's doing.
The Amazing Spider-Man 3, hopefully.
That is true. The Rhino Boy. Thank you so much for coming on, Trev. It's a pleasure. Always good to talk to you. Yeah. Definitely my favorite VanOverberghe brother.
No question about that.
If only you went to a different school.
He won't listen to this.
Oh no, he won't. No shot. It's been a pleasure.
Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna say it?
Stay capping?
No, the line.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
That is absolutely wrong.
And
if I don't see you.
And they were done.
If I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and stay capping.